We're live. Woohoo. Rails 5TZ Mob at a special time today. Oh, look, I was looking at where you're from. I was there getting to know a little bit of Kenyan geography, and because we were talking about Nairobi, and then we were talking about Mount Kenya.
Yeah, actually, Joseph is from Mount Kenya.
Oh, really? Stella as well.
Yeah.
And then
In the community. Then I'm from the lake on the west. You see?
Kisumu.
Yes.
Yeah, so we were talking about Kisumu, and I didn't realize Podi was in Kisumu.
Yeah.
So is there some story about why you're not part of Podi, or?
I think no, I don't think that, but I think I just don't like leaving the house for meetups.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I like to do my stuff indoors, and them I think they have like a central place where they meet and do stuff.
Yes.
So I think I think AV is better for me.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of like you know you're close to the family as well.
Yeah, I can look for Lyra when she's lost.
Yes, for sure. Okay. And Mombasa, anything about Mombasa that you?
The best beach in the world.
Really? Wow. All right.
Yeah, it's actually an island in the Indian Ocean.
Yes.
Yeah, the Mombasa town is actually an island, so. Yeah, and they have a lot of life there, I guess. I guess if you're not moving to Hawaii, I think that's why you're going to move, Matt, maybe.
I think that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
I was just saying to them, like, what is the benefit of like of being able to work remotely if you don't have like money to travel? You know, like, I think.
Yeah.
What did you say, Lars?
I was saying, like, what's the point of like being able to work remotely and like, you know, work from wherever you live if you don't have money to travel, you know? Like, I think, you know, I'd like to be able to not only have a job where I can travel, but also be able to have a little bit of money to where I can like actually go visit Mombasa, but not necessarily commit to living there, you know?
Yeah.
I was just, but I was also saying that.
A bit more complicated.
Sorry, go ahead.
I would say it's a bit more complicated than it seems to be, I think.
In what way?
In the way of first of all, finding the right work that can pay enough for doing both.
Well, I mean, the thing is about like being a full-time developer is like, you know, it's difficult to get paid like a poor amount if you're a full-time developer, you know? Like, you know, I mean, not that it's easy to get a job as a full-time developer. I'm not, you know, I mean, especially like if I think once you've already gotten like worked at a place for a period of time, I think then it becomes easier. Like the first getting in like the first time is difficult, but like and yeah, I think getting hired remotely is more difficult than getting hired at a place where you go there every day, especially for like junior developers or for people who are not are not considered senior developers. But like, I think once you break past that in your life, then I think it's very difficult to get paid. It's such because whether liking it or not, full-time developers get paid well.
Yeah.
As a general rule.
Yeah, maybe on the other side of the world.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't want to bring some kind of point, but yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, I think maybe in Kenya they value more the medics and I think it's the medics. Yeah, the rest of them,
medics.
The doctors and those people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think when you're a medical doctor by profession, you get to earn a huge amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
other professions, I think. Yeah, I think it's it's a little bit sketchy. How they?
I mean, I think in the United States, like medical doctors get paid quite well as well. But like, I think developers probably get paid just as much. Well, it depends. There's a lot of different. I think here in Brazil, like as well, like developers get paid less than they do in the United States or in Europe, but they still get paid well. I mean, if you compare it to like the majority of professions, like or like the average wage, you get paid well as a developer.
Right.
Right.
Hey, I got 3 minutes. Let's build Skynet.
All right, we're TDDing stuff.
Awesome.
We're talking about being a full-time developer and how like being able to be paid well enough to be able to not only work remotely so you can live wherever you want, but like actually be able to travel, like get paid enough money to be able to travel.
I think it's a wonderful idea. If my life priorities were different right now, I would definitely be doing that.
Yeah. I mean, Mike was telling me that if I don't move to Hawaii, I should move to Mombasa.
Oh, sure.
And then I was thinking, like, every time I see Sire, I think, like, like kind of close to where he's at is like Cabo Verde, which seems like would be I don't know if it would be a nice place to live, but it definitely seems like a great place to visit.
Yeah.
It looks like
Although I wonder
if one of the official languages there already, yeah, or is the official language
Portuguese?
Portuguese in Cabo Verde?
I don't know.
Portuguese,
actually.
I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wonder if they have like Cape Verde, Cabo Verde on a shoestring. I feel like it's one of those places you might not be able to do on a shoestring. I might be wrong about that. Anyways, maybe I can do this research in my own time. Right. So TDD.
Yeah, we know exactly what you do when you're not focused.
Actually, we were actually today was hoping that somebody like yourself who knows what they're doing could come and join the mob to try to help explain to us like everything you can in 3 minutes about stubs and mocks and partial mocks and doubles.
It's 1 minute now.
All right. Even better.
Yeah. There are these things called mocks, and there are other things called stubs, and so I agree we should invite someone who knows what they're doing to explain all these things and what the differences are.
Yeah. So we kind of agreed that it's like one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult thing, like when talking about like testing. And we are in the middle of this using test doubles as mocks and stubs. And we kind of agreed that we would finish this chapter first, because we've kind of changed things in the mob, that we're like doing mob reading at the moment, and so
Yeah.
we're kind of reading like word for word, and then like kind of trying to understand what they said, and we're using website 1 as like a project where we can check out like the code in use, and we're also using Pry to play around with like with things, and we're just got to this partial stubs, and now is when they start adding it to our actual our project that we're doing, the Gatherer. And then when we get done with this chapter, we're thinking of asking Sam or Federico, or we were talking about you as well, to come and maybe answer some outstanding questions.
Yeah.
And or we also have like, I have an open ticket.
Sounds great. Good luck. Best of luck.
Yeah,
It was great seeing you guys.
yeah, good to see you too.
Okay.
But good luck. Okay. Well, partial stubs. So yeah, Mike, do you want to start reading?
Yeah, sure. So partial stubs. You might use a full double object to stand in the entire object that is unavailable or prohibitively expensive to create or call in the test environment. Okay, maybe I'll read that again. You might use a full double object to stand in for the entire object that is unavailable or prohibitively expensive to create or call in the test environment. You can also take advantage of the way Ruby allows you to open up existing classes and objects to add or override methods. It's easy to take a real object and stub out only the methods you need. This is extraordinarily useful when it comes to actual uses of the stub objects. In RSpec, partial stubs are managed with the allow method.
Yes.
So it stubs an object. So is this the point where we start mob typing?
Yes. That's why I was coming here to open the editor.
The Gatherer.
Yeah. Open the editor. Come on, computer. There we go. So this here is in the project spec.rb. It stubs an object. So spec. Oh, hold on. Let me start this. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do with that PayPal thing that we were just looking at, is partially stub it, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't working, you know? It was still calling the method, you know?
All right.
For some reason. I mean, maybe we're doing it incorrectly. Or like, I'm not sure. Or maybe it's like, because the thing is that there's like also, in that case, there's like two classes. There's one that's like anyways, I guess we'll get to that later. I don't want to get too distracted on that, because we're gonna read this chapter first, take in what we can take in, and then we're gonna go from there. So we have spec, and inside our spec we have models, and inside our models we have the project spec. I see that Sire is in. Mike, are you in it? Yeah, you're in as well, no? Or no?
Yeah, Not quite. I'm in, but not. Yeah, I'm in now, I think.
Oh, yeah, I can see it. Cool. So, I don't know. There's 3 lines. Do we want to type 1 line each?
Where is it?
In the model project spec.rb.
Okay.
Or I can add the stubs and object, and you guys add the other 3 lines.
Is it better that? Well, I don't know.
Just copy and paste. Did you add an and already, Mike?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I think it's better someone type, and maybe if you go to another example, some other one type. Because typing together is a bit complicated.
Well, I mean, one can start at the bottom and the other one starts at the top. But yeah, like if you wanna type the next one, we can do this one.
Okay, so I can.
Or yeah, if you want to do that middle line. So this is like basically showing us that we can create a project with one name. Not create. We can create a new instance of a project with one name, but we can partially have it by telling it to receive the name method and return a different name than the project had when it was initialized.
And this is called partial.
Yeah, partial stubbing. It said because we're like, oh, sorry, I'm not even on the right thing. Sorry. It's actually this here. Allow project to receive name, not and return yet. And return is the next one. This is like to be nil. So, and also, don't copy the book with with the double quotes. We don't want double quotes.
Okay.
Yeah. So just. Yeah, but in this case, Sid,
Okay.
yeah, just
yeah, I saw.
Yeah. So then, if I'll just run all the tests because you can't see. RVM use 2.5.0. I feel like upgrading that, but okay.
Maybe we can't.
So this is what this is consistent with what we saw when we were playing around with it in the command line last time. City, you were kind of dropping off, but Mike, I think you remember, is that if you tell it to just allow it to receive something instead of throwing like an error saying it doesn't know what the name method is, it will just return nil, which is why this is, if we make this break on purpose, we could do like something like project green light, and then this should fail and say that it received spec models project spec. Too bad. It doesn't work. Does that work? No. Come on. There we go. Perhaps I can do tab to autocomplete. Nick was saying that you've been joining the Refactoring Book Club today.
Sorry?
Nick was saying you've been joining the refactoring book club.
Yeah, it was so fun. It's cool, huh?
Yes,
We
yes.
started a new book, and yeah,
The Pooter, right? I want to get back to going to that actually.
yeah,
And
we started a poodle, yeah.
yeah, I wonder he might be a good person to, you know, like, and just because one person explains it in one way doesn't mean it wouldn't be good to get it from more than one person. But he seems like it would be a good person to kind of explain what he understands about mocks and stubs as well, you know.
Nick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
failed in the
Yeah.
predictable way.
Maybe we can ask him.
Yep, for sure. I mean, I think like the thing is about the normal time of the Rails 5 TDD mob is like too early for him. So I think he because it's like I think it's at like 6 a.m. his time or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So we'd have to maybe, you know, maybe one of these times where we're doing like a later one. Anyways, we can finish the part of the book and then we can worry about coordinating with somebody.
Yeah.
So I've moved this back to be nil.
Nil.
And that should pass because it passed already. So if we go back to the book today, do you want to read from this test passage?
Yep. This test passes. Line 3 setups the stub, and the stub intercepts the project name call in line 4 to return a nil, and never even gets to the project name. This is not a smart test. You're just verifying that the stubbing works. Okay, so line 3 setup the stub. Okay. If mocks verify partial doubles equal true, is set in the spec helper RB configuration file, which should be the default, then partials double will also be verified, meaning the test will fail if the doubles is asked to stub a method the object doesn't respond to. Having a stub that always returns nil is pointless, so RSpec allows you to specify a return value for the stubit method using following syntax.
Okay. So.
Oh, okay. So we're back to the.
Yeah. Do you want to add this next today? And Mike, you can add the T equal Fred.
Quite cool. And return reports.
Okay, so we expect it's going to pass, right? Because this, yeah.
There seems to be a lag. I think my connection is bad.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. It looked like you were thinking about it. But yeah, it seems like it's there now and it's saved, so. Yep, everything passes. So line 3 is doing the heavy lifting here, tying the return value Fred to the method name. The allow method returns a proxy to the real object, which responds to the number of methods that you annotate the stub, that let you annotate the stub. That let you annotate the stub. The and return method is the annotation message that associates the return value with the method. Opa. Since classes in Ruby are really just objects themselves, you can stub classes just like you can instance objects. Now it has a different.
Since classes in Ruby are really just objects themselves, You can stub classes just like you can instance objects.
Did you?
Oh, this is like a class variable, class methods, studying class methods.
Yes. Yeah, like find, for example.
Yeah, in the other example, we were allowing an instance of project, and we allowing the class.
Yes. It's like what
Yeah.
we were doing last week when we were playing around with instance doubles and class doubles.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
We were calling class methods on the instance double and seeing that it like failed, and so this, I guess, is a separate test. Although,
Yep, stubs the class.
I you know, going by your theory that that like when he has this is something we're supposed to be adding to our test. Like, it's not exactly clear why we are adding this to our code base at all. Like, this seems like it's just testing out how to mock and stub certain things, not like testing anything that our code does.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe he's going to change that later. So, I'm willing to wait till we get later in the book. I mean, I think if we do get like to the end of the chapter and we still have these tests there, I think we probably should delete them because they're not actually testing anything to do with the code base.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah.
Let's see. So, should we?
And we should not test the that find method from, because it is an active record.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Methods, and I mean we know that they already tested and it works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I mean, I guess like, is there anything in the that we could be testing, like in the models for project? If I come here, like we have velocity and window in days, for example, is a class method.
Mm.
We could be testing that instead of the find method. But that's like,
maybe.
I don't know if there's any reason to stub it because we could just call it and like,
and it all right. Velocity window in days.
Yeah. That's that. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Like, Mike and I were having a look at that, and it's like how many hours per velocity window in days. No, it's like how many days, like the sprint is like 3 weeks, I think. And so we have 21 days to be able to get done a certain amount of like tasks, like of a total size.
But
It's
why
like,
to make a method on it? You could just maybe
I don't know.
attribute. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, maybe just to like, instead of having a comment to like where the 21 comes from, it's just like maybe
Okay. Yeah.
understand that. I don't know.
Yeah, makes sense. But yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I mean, we could be writing the test like that, but I think like we probably will end up deleting it anyways. So I'm like, maybe we should just, even though I completely agree with you, there's no reason for us to be testing the find method. Maybe we just copy it knowing we're going to delete it.
Yeah.
Or like, or that we're going to change it somehow. Trying to see, or maybe we don't even need to. It expects stuff. We've got to leave that there. We've got to leave that there because then like there's gonna be at some point where Ryder's gonna join us and he's gonna love that naming convention.
Mm. Definitely.
I'd expect stuff. All right. Well, I don't know. Do you think there's any points of us copying these or?
Yeah, I mean, as we was doing it before, maybe just continue that way.
Okay. And then
let's see.
we'll delete them. At least we can type something though instead of just reading the whole time.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes typing is kind of a second learning.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
It's I do a lot better in remembering things when I either write it down or I type it or I
Yeah.
So does anyone want to?
Oh, Mike dropped off. Maybe I can.
Yeah, he was here and then he dropped off and then he was here again and then it looks like he dropped off again.
Okay, maybe I can type the two first lines.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess my connection is breaking. Let me restart the router. Okay. That was 6 minutes ago.
Right. Oh, okay.
I'll be right back.
Cool.
Am I putting the copy from here? All right. So what do we got here? Yes.
I'm guessing. Where do that one comes from?
Yeah, I was wondering that as well. Like, do you think that if we put in any number, that it would still come? I think.
It's just faking.
Yeah.
Things. Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe you have to pass it in, otherwise it'll throw an error that it needs like it's expecting one.
Can we try?
Yeah, let's try.
Okay.
Let me drag this over. Drag this over. Come on. It's kind of annoying because I need to. Well, actually, I guess I don't need. Well, yes. So that failed. It failed. Yeah, wrong number of arguments.
All right. Okay.
Given zero expected.
All right. So if we change it to
yeah,
work.
Then I think that should work. Yeah. Oh, and it failed. Interesting. Oh, I think maybe I ran it before it was saved.
Yeah, before saved.
Huh?
What's the error?
It's same error. Wrong number of arguments. Given
Really?
0.
Is it clear on your screen?
Yeah, I can see it's like 1008, and it's saved as well.
8 now.
I mean, the one thing I noticed is that they have like parentheses around this, but I don't know if that's important.
It's not important enough.
I mean, I know it's normally not important.
Around what?
Around this project.new.
Oh, maybe that's the problem.
I think it's like this. Yeah. Like this.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's a problem, I think.
I didn't save it. Hey,
Mike is back.
Mike.
Okay. It worked.
Yes. So now can you try removing the 8 and see?
Yeah, it will work normally because it was 1 first of all.
No, but I think because you had the idea of checking to see if we put.
All right. Okay. If you. All right. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of expected it would fail in the same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
The
saying
same
like,
error.
What?
No.
No. Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like the important part is like that this has like the right number of arguments, not that this has the right number of arguments. Right?
What do you mean?
What fun? What fun am I missing?
Yeah, you're missing all Mike.
So we was studying a class. So you can see the difference here between the two steps of here we have allow an object in sense of the project class, and here we're stepping the class, and we're trying to test the find class method. And what we end up doing was that there was a one here project that find that one, and we was wondering if we remove that one, if we would have the thing, the test to pass. And surprisingly, it passed it. And yeah, we was wondering why it passed.
Yeah,
Because I think
at
the
first,
fine, yeah. Go on
sorry,
ahead.
I was just saying. At first, it was failing with the message we thought we were going to get, which is like wrong number of arguments.
Yeah.
But then that was because this here wasn't being passed in as an argument. It was like, I mean, I wonder if like,
yeah, it should be presented like that.
If we put it like this, would that work?
But no, it will fail because it will think that this thing is an argument for this method.
Yeah.
And this also should be, you won't understand what is this. If you put a comma here, it would think that these are first argument and this is the second argument. And to prevent that, I think you should put the second one in parentheses.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it should work. But I think the thing is that we're doing a project that now, and maybe that's where that one should come from. But yeah, I don't understand why it is passing without the argument here.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it seems like
at the point of the stabbing, we are not passing any argument.
On the book, there was a 1 here.
No, but I think here,
like
this
to receive, when you're doing to receive find, you're not saying to receive find with an argument of 1.
No. We were saying to the class to receive the method find and give us back an object, project instance. So, okay, which one?
I think this is what Mike was saying is like, if you did it like this, for example, then it would expect to have an argument. Let's see. Got one failure and one other error. Find with unexpected arguments. Expected 1, got no arguments. So then if I do 1 here, then this will fail because it won't have the right name, right? But and at least it'll enforce that this has to be called within a specific argument. Yeah. So then it's saying unexpected method name for nil class. Oh wait, for nil. Yeah, because we're not creating new. Oh wait, because we're not returning this. So then can I do like, can I chain this?
Maybe it should be possible.
I think so. Why not? Yeah, there we go. And this would seem like it would be a better test to me because I don't know. I mean, maybe not.
But the thing is, no matter what is here, it seems to pass.
Well, I think now it wouldn't, right? If you passed in a 2 there, I think it would fail.
Let's test.
Because like it's saying like allowed to
With-
receive.
With this?
Oh no, I mean that, yeah. If you delete the width and then you pass anything, it'll still pass. Because then you're
Okay.
saying I don't care what just whenever a person calls the find method,
Okay.
then return this here, you know.
Mm.
But then like Mike, I think what Mike was bringing up is that I've seen as well is that if you allow to receive the method, but with certain parameters only, you know, like. Yeah,
Okay.
interesting. I mean, it still makes me like, you know, doing examples like this still make me think of like, okay, let's use this in real life. And like, unfortunately, as you pointed out today, this is not a real life example at all because we would never be testing the find method. Like,
Yeah. No need to.
unless we're doing some unless we're going to start doing Rails like contribution.
Maybe you are contributing to the aspect call. Maybe a contribution to the aspect call.
Yeah, then maybe we would do that. All right. Well, any other questions about that, or should we?
Yeah, I'm good. I think I'm good. But
Mike?
yeah, it would be interesting to find somewhere to test it in Rails.
Yeah, I'm good.
I mean, the issue with like it's specifically about using it in this project with what we have is the only thing that we could test is this velocity window and days, you know, because that's the only class method we have. And for tasks, we have alphabetized title.
And large.
Yeah, and large. But also, like, those are ones that are like, why are we going to stub those?
Sorry?
Like, I think that you don't just stub for no reason, right? Like we don't, and I think these particular class methods we have, there's no motive for wanting to stub them.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point.
If we
When
talk
you say
about
that you don't stop. Can you repeat that part again? You don't stop the first phrase you said.
Yeah, like we don't stub unless there's a motive to stub.
Yeah. And what would be a good motive to stop?
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, going back to the thing that we're not going to focus on now, but that
Okay.
would be nice to focus on. It's like we have this. I don't know if I can find it quickly. If I can't find it quickly, then we have this method create agreement in the
Yeah. We know. From our point of view, we agree that when we try to test API calls, that's a good reason to stop.
Yeah.
And what are good reasons also good reasons to stop something instead of API calls?
Good question.
Maybe not hitting the database every time.
I mean, if I look at like we can look at. Go, Mike.
I was just going to say, reading a file, like a text file from the file system.
From the system?
Like if you want to read like an XML file from the file system, and you want to test that. You will not want to be reading that
the real
file
file.
always.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't want to stop that. And database calls as well, yeah.
So, like, if we look at the code base we have here, like, in this case, we're stubbing because it's a Slack web client. So that's like hitting it, that's hitting a gem.
API.
Yeah.
A gem.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's actually hitting the API, but it's.
But I think it's the kind of API.
Yeah.
Behind maybe.
So pivotal API logger. So there's another one like that. We were looking at this before about returning no object, right? Because there's like too much output that the logger could potentially have, and we don't want to. It's like to suppress the logger. Allow controller to receive current user and return user. Okay, that's an interesting one.
Oh yeah. This is like faking the authentication.
Yeah, but this is like something that also like I think people are trying to get away from controller tests, right?
Yeah, I mean I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of consensus. So I mean the rest of these are all like allow user to receive followed by type and return projects, like, but these are all controller tests. Controller. This one here is interesting. Documents helper. So there's like document, like factory build stub document with the user. And then like, apparently instead of using this document, we're just saying like, we want the versions to be an empty array.
And after we are not using any kind of.
Yeah, we're not actually using versions anywhere.
Maybe in the help metadata method.
Yeah. I'm not sure really.
What I can understand here is that the build stub is preventing to hit the database, given baggage and ID. And allow document to receive. Yep.
Yeah. Then here, GitHub commits job. So this is like this is stubbing out one of the jobs, which the job will hit an outside service. It's like using the OctoKit gem.
Okay.
Is the job not a class?
It might be a class, yeah.
Oh, okay.
GitHub.
Yeah. I realized if you do function F12, it will take you to the definition of the.
Oh, like this. Function F12. I think it's different for me because I'm on. But yeah, it's like. Let me just open this. So I'm already there, but.
Okay.
Function F12.
Yeah. Like it navigates you to the definition of the.
Yeah, mine is opening up my desktop.
Oh. Does it work for you, Sire?
Not on this. No. Maybe I can find something to do here. Spec controllers.
So it's a module. Mike.
I don't have somewhere to test it out. Really.
But this, like, when this GitHub commits job.new is called, then it like initializes the Octo client new. So I think that's probably why. update total commits for is like here update total commits for is gonna it's gonna send a request to GitHub, you know, so we don't want that. What else?
All those things are kind of API things. And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
Let's document event these are all controllers. Yeah, and then the rest of these are like this is a job, this is the README files job, this is the Slack invite job. These are like stepping out mailers, which would be a good idea as well. We don't want to be actually mailing stuff. Article spec. Allowed subject to get up votes, to get down votes. I mean, this article is like something we don't even use anymore, really. You know? Have you guys even seen this in the Agile Venture site?
No.
Yeah.
articles?
Is it like the blogs?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Hello? Wie mis je
Yeah.
dan?
I think it's just this. Yeah, here you go. agileventure.org/articles. Oh, look. This is the last one that was written was by me 8 months ago. And then like, because Sam encouraged me to write up the pros and cons of moving from Phantom.js Poltergeist to Selenium Headless Chrome. Look at it. Nobody's even commented on my or tweeted it or shared it. Oh man.
Yeah, I read it, but I'm not on Twitter, I'm not on Facebook, so.
Yeah, no worries. I think like he was saying like it was a funny choice that I chose to use this because he's trying to steer everyone to use Medium. But like then before that, like it was 3 years ago, anyone used anyone used it, you know? And look, it looks like it's mostly Thomas who used it. Work in progress. Sam used it 4 years ago. But like this is something that's like, you know, when we're talking about doing the React front end, it's something that we're like not planning on really keeping as part of the new front end. Although, you know, like then there's a question about whether the back end should be, you know, left with all this fat in it. This is all like, you know, these are things that like this these tests run every time, you know, and then they take time and we need to maintain them, and we're not even using this stuff anymore. So I don't know, should we keep going through examples? Should we move on?
Yeah, maybe we could read more.
Yeah, article spec, event spec. The event spec is like same thing. It's like for Hangouts. It's like to receive started and return true. So this in this case is not hitting any backend. It's just like making sure that like the event is live, you know. These ones as well are not hitting any outside. This is just like, I don't know. I mean, I guess instead of like, I'm not really sure what the point of doing this is. Because like, you could just add like here, like, right? I guess like maybe, yeah, I don't know. Any kind of idea why they would do it like that? No idea. No idea.
The comma on the repeats every n weeks.
Don't need no. I was thinking of, instead of adding them all, just event spec to see if this still passes. I imagine that it would.
Thing is, are these attributes or methods?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that they are not, I don't know if all of them are attributes, but some of them definitely are. Repeats is definitely, and repeats every n weeks, like gets added. Like, I think there's a method that's called that then like adds this to the attributes, you know?
Okay. That updates that attribute.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like
Okay.
part of the, it's not part of the initial like UI.
Creation.
No, yeah, exactly. Come on. So they still all passed, you know? So yeah, I mean, this seems like not a good way of doing things. I'm not sure why the person, I mean, this Yato did it 5 years ago. I mean, is it possible that 5 years ago you couldn't be like overriding like or adding to this, like, because this factory bot for event probably has like some stuff like here. Well, I mean, look at this. This doesn't make any sense at all, actually. Oh, so this was 8 months ago, right? So I think like the maybe if I remove this and then I comment all of this out, which there might be some stuff that's not the same, but if I do that and then run the test again, it's probably that this stuff's been updated and nobody went and fixed like the test. Okay, so that failed a couple.
That failed because we have some time things.
Yeah.
And yeah, some hard-coded time. Also some hard-coded time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I should be fixing this stuff. Yeah, it's all these hard-coded times and stuff. Yeah. Like, name. Anyways, I don't know. I mean, this I think it would be an improvement if we refactored this to not use all these allows, because that doesn't really make sense to me why we would do that. Like, I mean, there could be stuff I'm missing, but these all look like the same to me, that like are attributes of the event that we can add like this. So why are we adding it like this?
Yep. You're right.
But I guess, I don't know, if someone has time to I mean, I'm sure that we could find many places in the website one legacy code base that we could like go refactoring stuff, but it's just if there's energy to do it or to create a ticket. And I mean, that's the thing, is that there's potentially really good stuff for like good first issues for people to work on, but then we need to get like get the ticket created and describe the the issue and copy like the path to the file and talk about it, and and then when someone comes in and is like, hey, I really want to work on some Rails stuff, what's a good first issue, then we need to like kind of remember that we have it. And yeah, don't know if that'll happen.
Right.
Cool.
All right.
So how are you guys doing on time? Should we try to get to the mock expectations? Like we have a some more to read. Mike, you're okay? It's I know it's getting a little late for you.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Just a little sleepy, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Who is it? Is I think it's you, Mike, starting from in this test.
Yeah, so in this test, the class project is being subbed to return a specific project instance whenever find is called. In the last line of the spec, the find method is in fact called and returns that object. Let's pause here and examine what you've done in this test. You're using the find method to get an active record object. And because you're stubbing find, you're not touching the actual database. Using the database is for testing. Using the database is for testing purposes slow, very slow. Using the test doubles to stub database access is one strategy for avoiding the database for the purpose of speeding up tests. In the meantime, remember that this stub shouldn't be used to verify that the find method works. It should be used by other tests. It should be used by other tests that need the find method along the way to the logic that is under test. For instance, this can be used to ensure that a controller that is accessing the database gets an instance that is controlled by the test.
Okay. So that's kind of like, it seems like how maybe we're using like in all these controller tests.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, not some of them are just using it for current user or whatever. But like some of them I think are using for here, like this here. Show build stub project, build stub user, allow user to receive following by type and return projects. User to receive skill and return that. Allow user to receive bio and return test bio. So that's like all setting it up. And then what is it being tested with a public profile? Oh, right. So then there's even more stuff. Yeah, it's like doubling an object 2. Right. Object 2 to receive limit with 5 and return videos. Get show params ID at user.friendly ID. It assigns the user instance. Expect assigns user to equal user. Expect assigns event instances to equal videos. Yeah, right. Here's our build stub. That's nice.
Good.
Yes. Yeah. Should we? I think it's you, Sid. Should we move on or should we keep?
Okay. Yeah. We can move on. For me.
Yeah.
Okay, we go. That said, in practice, you also should avoid stubbing the find method because it's part of an external library. You might be better off creating a model method that has a more meaningful and specific behavior and stubbing that method. On a related note, if you wanted to create multiple partial stubs from the same class and have them all behave the same way, you could do so with the method allow any instance of, as you see here. Allow any instance of project to receive save and return false.
Yeah.
So I read it again.
Yeah.
On a related note, if you want it, okay, I go up.
Up to you.
That's it. Or just the last program. On a related note, if you want
this, this is kind of what you're already saying, you know, like
yeah.
You should avoid stubbing the find method because it's part of an external library.
Yeah. So on a related note, if you wanted to create multiple partials from the same class and have them all behave the same way, you could do so with the method allow any instance of, as you see here. Allow instance of class, an instance of project to receive save and return false. This snippet contains any instance of project that is created to return false when saved. In other words, it stimulates a failure condition.
Yeah, and I think it's being so you should use allow any instance of very sparingly, as it often implies you don't really understand what the underlying code is doing or where the objects might come from. That's great. Instead of using this method, go understand your code. However, when you're testing legacy code, you may genuinely not know where the object comes from. And allow any instance of might be a lesser evil. Like, you know, lesser evil than not testing, I guess. Also, sometimes framework concerns in Rails make using allow any instance of easier than managing the set of objects that might be returned by some distant method. In either case, though, consider the possibility of refactoring the code or test to avoid allow any instance of. The RSpec docs explicitly recommend not using this feature if possible, since it is the, quote, the most complicated feature of RSpec mocks and has historically received the most bug reports. So yeah, then it just says the use of allow any instance of stub modifier often means the underlying code being tested could be refactored with a more useful method to stub. Mike?
A common use of stub objects is to stimulate failure and exception conditions. If you want your stub method to raise an exception, you can use the andRaise method, which takes an exception class and an optional message. So allows stubby to receive user count and raise exception. Oops.
All right. Well, yeah. That's where we said we're going to stop. As here we have and raise. I think we have this a few times. Expect any instance of. Oh, here we go. Any instance of. Well, in this case, maybe it's a good idea because it's like talking about any internal server error. I don't know. This is like this isn't even our spec. This is Capybara.
Cucumber.
Right. And then here is a spec, coderay.stub, scan and raise exception. Okay. Should render failed to render markdown when it coderay fails for whatever reason. Okay. I'm not sure really what coderay is. I mean, coderay is the stuff that Pry uses to make it look all beautiful and colorized, isn't? Or am I getting that confused with something else?
Can't help.
Here is the one we already saw. It's like the GitHub commits jog to receive update total commits for and raise standard error. Execute user commits method, even if total commits dies for project. Yeah, so in this case, we wanted to raise an error, but we still expect it to run this method. And this still kind of makes me, it looks weird to me that like, this is like doing the GitHub commits job.run after the expectation, you know? That seems like it's backwards to me.
I think it's because of how Ruby works. I think that's the last things is interpret it first, and it goes back.
I mean, yeah, maybe. Although I am seeing here in like this before do block, it is doing the GitHub commits job.run.
Oh, okay.
Although, are we not mocking? Like, are we not mocking this, or like using a double for this GitHub commits job?
Doesn't seem so.
Yeah, it doesn't, does it? And I wonder why that is. Is that because we're
maybe because we have the VCR and we're not hitting the real string?
Yeah, right. VCR index probably, huh? So it's like, so we are mocking, we are stubbing it. We're just stubbing it with VCR, which I thought we weren't using VCR for specs. I thought we were only using that for Cucumber.
No, we can use it for specs, I think.
No, I know.
I mean here. Okay.
I know you can.
Here
we weren't.
I think here we don't care about hitting the GitHubs because we have the cassettes. That.
Yeah.
So that's why we run it. We don't stub it, I think.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I am a bit surprised that I thought Sam had said that we were only using VCRs for Cucumber, but I guess that's not true.
I don't think so.
It's obviously not true because we're using it for like 3 of the GitHub specs.
We can use it for specs.
No, I know we can, but I thought they were trying to limit how much we use it because it like.
Okay.
I mean, this was added by Nico a year ago. With maybe working together with Ravine.
What's VCR used for?
VCR, like,
it records the API call results, and next time you hit the API, it's kind of running some kind of data that they first recorded.
I mean, yes, I think that's exactly. And I think Mike, you've seen them before because you have to run that VCR like Billy caches clean every time you push up your code.
Yeah.
I was just going to, but like we're using them mostly in our features, right? And then you have like, so you have, I don't know, Hangouts, for example, and you have edit Hangout URL feature. No, sorry, this is the features. I want the, where are they saved? These are saved in a different place for, not the fixtures. Is it in features and it's somewhere? Let me VCR.
Slash VCR maybe.
It's saved in feature support fixture.
Okay, fixtures. Yeah. Okay.
Support, fixtures, cassettes, right? But these are all the cassettes, and then it even tells it how to save it, like manual edit of a Hangout, for example. So this is what it looks like. This is a different way of stubbing the response.
Cassettes is French, I think.
Sorry?
Cassettes is French.
Oh, really?
It's like, yeah, it's like tapes, recording tapes.
Ah, yeah. Oh, right. Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because you have cassette tapes, like, which are not. I guess VCR is not cassette, but like, yeah. So this is something that like, I think we have like a problem, especially with local support, where we're not properly stubbing out the Google API key. And so like my Google API key is shot because every time I run the tests, it's actually, some of them are actually hitting the network. And so then Google has like a sophisticated way of like realizing that
Blocking you.
yeah. And so I've been blocked, and I can never use that API key.
All right. I think there is some kind of max rate of connections of API calls you can do per day, or things like that, or limit that.
Yeah, they do. They have, yeah. But I think I think at some point they just kind of like cut you off, and you just never can use it. Because even if I run it for the first time during,
I mean, if you run all the tests every day and hitting the API like 100 times every 1 hour, and they should definitely cut you off.
The only thing is that it's kind of strange, because then you would think that even the API key, I mean, maybe Agile Ventures pays for a Google API key in the end, because the amount of times that it gets run by the build, if we weren't properly stubbing, you would think that API key would get burned as well. But maybe it's not a free API key that they're using. But anyway,
I mean, I think there's some kind of paid plans depending on how often you hit the API, I think.
Yeah.
But a solution would be some kind of VCR using the VCRs, or there's another one, I don't remember the name, but it's kind of the same like VCR.
Yeah. Like we were talking about changing to, there's one called Nominatum that's using OpenStreetMaps, and we were talking about, we have a PR actually that would change our geocoding to use Nominatum instead of using Google.
Instead of, all right, okay.
But actually we were talking about maybe, and Sam was saying like, maybe instead of replacing the geocoding with Nominatum, we could replace like the Google Maps with OpenStreetMaps to have like an open source map that we're using. But like, I think maybe that's not going to get prioritized at the moment. But yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's that. We're going to pick up with mock expectations next week.
Was great, guys.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a quick break, and I'm gonna do some more coding. Mike, are you gonna be doing stuff, or are you done for the day?
I was actually dozing for the later part of the session, so maybe I'm just going to retire.
Yeah, that sounds like a sensible thing to do. I don't even know what I'm going to work on. I need to do some human connection, but I also need to work on some website one front end stuff because Josh is blocked at the moment by the, I guess I can't work on that until tomorrow. Yeah. So anyways, let's see what happens. Cool.
All right.
See you guys soon.
See you.